Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Oh, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels.
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
Back of the net.
It didn't happen in 49, 61, 63 or 69 when they reached the final. But the class of 2021 have delivered. Leicester City are FA Cup winners at last and are history makers at Wembley.
A modern day football miracle. They have blown their rivals away. They have blown us all away in truth. Premier League champions 2016, the amazing Leicester City.
Leicester Till I Die TV. Your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris.
All right there. How the devil are we? I need to move him on the other side, don't I? How the devil are we all? What a night. What a night. Well, I'll tell you what, talk about taking it down to the final day. I don't believe it, that we are going to have so many things to watch on the final day. We don't know who's going to win the title. We don't know who's going to be in the Champions League, Europa League, or the Conference League. And we don't know who's going to go down. It's been one of those nights. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Thank you so much for watching. And I've got to say, if you were one of the 3,500 that was watching the watch along, thank you so much. That was just unreal. I think you're mainly Chelsea fans because it was all Chelsea. Let's be honest with you. It was a bit like Rorke's Drift in the film Zulu. And you can catch us on Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube. Please press that subscribe button, as it says just there, and click the notification bell. We've got a lot of shows coming up. On Sunday, we have got a Soccer Sunday special, and we've got Jerry Taggart coming up next week, and that will be a YouTube-only show. So it won't be on Facebook, and it won't be on Twitter. YouTube-only show. Jerry Taggart giving us his thoughts on Leicester City's season. This is where you can watch and find us.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform. Or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
Good evening, excited please, or exalted please, sorry. I should have gone to Specsavers. Leicester got lucky. I can't argue with you. We were in it when we scored. I can't say we did not deserve it, but my God, yes, we were holding on. Can I just say that if anybody that lives in the Chelsea area hasn't got, come home and found that they've got no kitchen sink, please get onto the Leicester coach because you'll think you'll find that it's probably they're all on the back row there. That's what they were throwing at us, I'll tell you. And David says, hello, Chris. Hope you're well. I'm very good. Thank you very much. Good game. Rode our luck a bit. Rode our luck a lot, mate. But we played some aggressive football regardless. We tried, and I'm going to be honest with you here. Chelsea didn't let us. Chelsea were all over us. I'll tell you. That was up there with the Liverpool game when we won 1-0. And that was a bit like Custer's last stand as well. Luca, how the devil are you, sir? Yes, it was a good point for us. I would have taken that at the start. Disappointed that we went ahead and then we let them back into it. But to be totally honest with you, extremely bloody lucky that we got a point. To be honest with you, now a while ago, you may remember me taking the piss out of a Man United fan because he'd arranged to come on a quiz on the same day that his football team were playing. Now, only Man United fans really could do that and not know when their team is playing. I mean, you would never, ever get a true loyal Leicester fan doing that, would you, Brad?
Sorry, technical issues. I didn't hear that question, Chris. Yeah. I mean, I got so used to playing on a Thursday in Europe. For some Arsenal fans, I have to get used to hearing that again next season. That I just assumed that we was playing last night. So when I organised doing my podcast that I've literally just come from, I was like, oh, what? We are actually playing on a Thursday. It wasn't until who you'll be introducing next told me he couldn't be on to do it because of his team playing that I checked the fixtures and went, oh, bugger. And who I've got on, I've committed to the day. So, yeah, I definitely didn't do that thinking that we were playing on a different day. I didn't get it confused at all. I did it for drama, mate, so I can show that this show is like wrestling, isn't scripted.
I tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
And you got to have that because it's the only one that I've got loaded up. We got a 1-1 draw. And the gentleman that you mentioned earlier. Now, can I just say, and I have to do a warning here, there is a warning on all my shows that there may be some bad language and flashing lights. Tonight, there may be a bit more. I was glad of a 1-1. This gentleman, and I was watching both games, and I was getting half excited about both games. So I do have a liking for Burnley. And he's not happy. Should we just say he's not happy? And it's going to go down to the last day of the season. Daniel Turf Morehouse. How the devil are you, sir? Dare I ask? No, obviously we can't ask how he is. Hello, Earth calling Daniel.
I've been better, Chris. It's just
like you said, though, and we're going to talk about both games. It's just showing at the moment. I mean, you're 17th with 35 points. Leeds are 18th with 35 points. You're on minus 18 and at home in the next game. They're on minus 38 and away in the next game at Brentford, which isn't going to be easy. All you've got to do is match whatever Leeds do. And all you've got to do is, it's in your own hands. It is in your own hands. Leeds have got to hope that you cock up somehow. You just got to go out there and make sure you win. So at least it's in your hands.
It is, but tonight was an absolute farce. Yeah. I mean, the only decision that the referee gave us was the penalty, and that was it. Everything else was for a team in claret and blue. And we all know how much VAR and bullshit decisions are loved at Villa Park. I mean, it's them that's kept them in the division, isn't it? So clearly they do love the drama at Villa Park. But yeah, it goes back to that old discussion that we've had numerous times about officials being fast-tracked to the Premier League. Another referee, there's 3 or 4 referees retiring at the end of this year. Paul Tierney is another one. There's only one word. Well, there's a few words I would use for him, but I'll try and use one that's not as harsh. And it's something that happens if you was to touch a thorn bush. He's a prick, right? He's a prick.
Do I need to get a buzzer ready here? Right, hang on a second. Let me just work out which one is going to be. Should we use that one for the buzzer? Right, carry on.
So, as I was saying, I knew that was coming. I just think that, to be honest, Chris, we were that. No, we weren't actually, though. We wasn't. We set up the same way as we did against Spurs, where we was unfortunate in that game as well, because another game where VAR, tongue punched the arseholes of the top 6. So, it's gut wrenching. I'd have took a point prior to kick off, but the manner in which that game went about, Villa's goal shouldn't have stood. There were a throw-in prior to it where it was a foul throw. I mean, he threw it correctly, but he'd only just approached the line, had 1 foot over the line, and his other foot was still on the pitch. So it should have been pulled back for that. The goal itself, though, can't take anything away from it. It was a good finish and a beautiful ball from John McGinn, but it should have been brought back prior to that. Weghorst had a missed opportunity, which Tyrone Mings, never thought I'd say this, probably had one of the best games I've ever seen him play. For a bullying boxer of a defender, he actually had a solid game. But yeah, nothing against our performance. I thought we merited it. The sending off was bullshit. Sending off was absolute farcical. Matt Lawton's got forward, and he's not even come off 2 feet. He's won the ball, and then he's touched Callum Chambers. But that's because Chambers has got his leg out, and the ball's got to be there to be won. So at the end of the day, was I happy with the point prior to kick-off? Of course I was. I was happy as a pig in shit. But the manner of how the game's gone after 90 minutes, am I still happy with the point? Yes. But the manner of it, no. I'm fuming. Because we've now lost a defender to a red card, which won't get overturned. Won't get overturned by Sunday.
Would you never have guessed he wasn't happy, would you, Brad?
No, I thought he was delighted with it myself. I've been reading the room all wrong. He sounded cheerful. He seems to love the referee. Seems to think the greatest officials in the world, and definite red card. I can't believe Dan's saying all these things after that result.
No,
you know what? I'm actually going to check it. I'm going to check something because somebody said. I'm going to check the Premier League website because somebody said to me that they think Paul Tierney is the referee for the Burnley-Newcastle game. Now, I've said it in my live stream. If he is, I will be down at Turf Moor prior to 4. I will put back my final day watch along. I'll make sure his cards are missing, his whistle is missing, his car keys, his kit. That bastard is going nowhere near Turf Moor. He's not ruining the final day of the season. I will tell you that for nothing.
We do not recommend that you do go down and do violence against any match official.
Oh, it won't be violence. It won't be violence. There'll just be a couple of. I'll play hide and seek with a few.
And I'll have to mute him, otherwise we're not going to get a word in here, Brad, are we?
Oh, dear, bless him, bless his cotton socks.
We will come back onto Burnley later, in fairness. But, I mean, well, first of all, I suppose we should say well done to Everton. They've stayed up. I don't know what planet Everton fans are on, because, you know, to invade the pitch with 2 minutes to go, it's just, you're asking for trouble. You know, you've got the game delayed. You've given the opposition players a time to, recuperate and recover. You were on the, front foot at the time, and, you got away with it. But it was 7 minutes of extra time. We all know, as Leicester fans, what can happen there. But at the end of the day, we've been there with the Great Escape. We know what it's like, don't we, Brad? So, well done, in fairness to them, for staying up. Now, our game, I mean, again, a bit like Dan, I'd have taken a point at the start. And then, we went 1-0 up after 6 minutes. Maddison, well taken goal. And then it kind of all ended up, like you say, like that Rorke's Drift in the Zulu films. It was literally, they never, I think Mendy, to be honest with you, Mendy got his deck chair out and his picnic and his sarnie sandwiches and was enjoying them, because he wasn't much to do for most of that game.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it did become very typical of both Leicester's and Chelsea's season. Leicester they will definitely be the happier side. I mean, we're now potentially looking at ending the season unbeaten in our last 4 games. That's something we didn't see when we was playing the likes of Everton twice and Newcastle, and boring ourselves to death watching us take on Villa. So it'd be a nice way to go. It was seen as a free hit. We didn't concede from a corner. Rudiger didn't score. So happy days on that front. That's something I thought was a given. And then, like you say, it kind of just fell into that. Oh well, the job's done. We're not really we don't really need to win the game. Chelsea don't really need to win the game. They don't benefit far too much from it, nor do Leicester. We've already discussed this before, so I think Leicester are in prime position, given who Wolves play on the last day of the season, to finish as high as they can, which would be 8th. So why not take a share of the spoils? And it did seem to, from what I've been able to catch up with the second half of it, play out like that. Yes, backed against the wall, but as you mentioned rightly with the Liverpool result that we got, and even though we found ourselves 4-0 down, the way we've tried to play against Man City at the Etihad, it's not something that's uncommon to Leicester fans to try and shore it up and soak it out, is it? So
it reminded me very much of the Liverpool game, and I said this while I was watching it. The one just before Christmas, or just between Christmas and New Year, whenever it was, they just really got us back in the Carabao Cup. We were ahead and we threw it away, went to penalties, and they won. And then in that second game, we literally were just like, we were there, and I've never seen, because I didn't see that game, but I've never seen sort of Leicester they were throwing themselves in front of everything to sort of stop that. And I mean, you could argue, and I've got to say, well done to Chelsea. They did make us look, second best, and you could see there was a gulf between the top 4 and maybe the rest, the chasing pack. But they were just coming on and on and on. A bit like in Dan's game, the referee was not sure what he was doing. Took him about 5 tackles to get Kanté booked. But good evening. I don't know who you are, but good evening to you. You're not signed into StreamYard, or put your name at the end and I can give you a shout out, but I'm not so bad. But I'd have taken that at the start, like you say, and Wolves have got Liverpool. They are away at Liverpool, and you can't take anything for granted, but we're at home at Southampton. So you would look at that, would you not, Brad, and think we could finish 8th? And let's be honest with you, at the season we've had, if you can say, well, we're finishing 8th and we've had a European semi-final, that ain't been a bad season.
no, it's not. It certainly hasn't. I think it's easy to look at it maybe from a neutral, or if you're ever pessimist as a fan, and go, oh yeah, well, but in August we didn't want that. We wanted 6, or it is a fair. Well, no, like Rodgers has actually said himself in press interviews, objectives change depending on the season, don't they? They hey, I like the way you did that. I have to read that comment first of all, what you're doing there. But no, objectives change depending on what happens throughout the season. Leicester would have had objectives, but because of the way results went, injuries, and taking everything on board, the way it derailed Leicester's season at periods as well. It wasn't just like it derailed for a game or two. It was periods we were derailed. That even Rodgers said we had to revise them objectives. We had to bracket them objectives for like season objectives. So we scored more goals than last season. We haven't been able to concede as little as last season, but it's all about these perspectives. And Leicester came into this and played it like that, and it was just nice at the end of the day, because like I said, you look at the perspective now, obviously essentially it's still nothing to play for. You're probably talking an extra $1.5 million in terms of finances, on that aspect of us. But from a fan's point of view, you're looking at that and saying, okay, what are Leicester playing for? They're playing for 8th place. Okay, that's all they can get. Like you said, with Burnley being in the driver's seat, in terms of the fact that goal difference essentially puts them on 38 for what it's worth, being 20 goals better off. All they need to do is not even better Leeds' result, do they? Because they could lose 3-0 if Leeds lose. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to move on. I got what you meant about 5 minutes ago, Brad.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I'm just trying to get it all crammed in at once.
We're going to come on to the Burnley game in a second. Welcome along to Neil from the On the 90 LCFC site. Get over there, follow him on Twitter, and make sure you subscribe on Facebook. It is a great site. Did you watch the game, Neil?
I did, yes. Hence why I'm on here.
Yes, good. Well, so not all Leicester fans watch the game, of course. But I'm not mentioning that again, Brad. I won't mention that again. But Neil, what were your thoughts on the game? it was literally, like I say, I think Leicester are leaving London with about 25 kitchen sinks in the back of the bus, aren't we?
Do you know what? We've not seen that a lot this season, where we've actually put defense. Again, we did ride our luck at times. Chelsea couldn't finish. However, credit to the team. We defended majority of set pieces at a good level, which is a lot higher than it's been for a lot of the season. We sat in. It's with something that we've not done a lot this season. We've sat in. We've gone, right, we're going to try and make this hard for the opposition. Too many times, even at lower opposition. I remember playing at Burnley. They went straight through the midfield and just carved us open. I remember Crystal Palace doing it a couple of times as well. So in terms of that, we credit to us. We defended well. Players like Daniel Lamarte didn't have his best game, but let's give him credit. He's playing out of position. He's playing on that left-hand side with his right foot. So you have to give him a bit of credit. But, for example, I think there was one point where he lost the ball. They played it forward, and then he went back to go, right, I'm going to go and make up for my mistake, and then gets it off Lukaku for a corner. That's that kind of summed it up. The effort was there, the intent was there. From a defensive point, there's things to build on. My only concern a little bit is with Luke Thomas. I mean, I think the guy's got a great future at Leicester City, but he's just not kicked on to the level where I think Brendan Rodgers and the team want him to be if we want to challenge at those positions. He's a great player, but I think he's just lacking confidence. I think if he goes to potentially a higher championship club like Keenan Hoarded, or even a lower Premier League club, because I genuinely think he is that decent, has a constant run of games.
Would you send him out on loan, say, for 6 months? And
I'd say for even a year, we did with Dewsbury Hall.
I mean, we're saying about going to a championship club. That brings me on to Dan very nicely. Sorry, mate. So, I've put £1 in for every time you swore before, Dan. I'm going to buy next door later. What is it, Paul Tierney at the weekend? Did you find out?
No, it's not said. I've sent you a picture, Chris. I've sent it you through Twitter on your inbox. That the picture of the throw-in prior to Aston Villa's goal. It's a foul throw. You only have to look at the picture. Look at that.
I will bring it up so we can all.
When you said a picture, I just thought it was going to be a middle finger after he made that championship comment.
You can have that for free.
It's his profile picture from OnlyFans.
But not the throw-in prior. As I said, their goal was fantastic. John McGinn played a Kevin De Bruyne-esque ball through to Buendia, and Buendia hit it first time. It was a good goal, but this is the bullshit. This is the mediocrity that we are putting up with in terms of officiating in games. If I was to do anything as shit as Paul Tierney did today, I would be sacked before my shift's even finished. But yet you get shit like that. It's a foul throw. You've got Ashley Barnes, who's apparently got his arm up and it's a penalty. And then there's a very similar incident in the same game, but that's not given. So there's no, if one's going to get given, you've got to give the other. There's just no, as I said to Chris off camera, if you were wearing a claret and blue shirt and bent down to tie your shoelaces, you got a free kick today. The referee was a Villa fan. Honestly, I'm sure Paul Tierney sports leads. Honestly, I really do. The guy was an absolute disgrace. Every 50-50 went to Aston Villa. If I were Mark Jackson as an interim manager, I wouldn't hold back. If you know you're not going to get the job full time, I'd just go, you know what? So I did. You're not going to ban me ahead of Sunday's game. It's only 2 or 3 days away. What you're going to do, put some ramifications on me for next season when I'm just going to be sunning it up somewhere. It's an absolute farce. Absolute farce. And I don't know what I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've mentioned it so much this season, it feels like it's draining the life out of all of us. But isn't that what clear and obvious is? Isn't that where VAR should step in and go, you've made a clear and obvious mistake? That is a clear and obvious foul throw. It should not have counted. What a perfect reason for it to be used, and it wasn't used. It just baffles me even more. And I do get you feeling very justified in your vendetta against it.
Everything, Brad. They had 3 or 4 corners today that wasn't corners, but Paul Tierney kept saying they were corners, and we all know VAR doesn't look at that stuff. We've had a bullshit sending off when it definitely wasn't sending off. I'd love to find the video of it. I'm sure Sky Sports will have retweeted it or something. But
all I can say Twitter. Is that Arsenal fans are liars, because Anthony says here, I was watching Dan's stream, he was pulling his hair out. Now, I know you're lying because he's as bold as a coot and he's got no hair to pull out whatsoever. So I don't know. I don't know what you were watching.
Maybe that's what it is. My mates tell me I'm a hatfish.
What?
I'm a hatfish.
Like
and they're like, oh, he looks quite young. He looks all right. Take that off, and it's like, whoa, Jesus Christ!
Take that off. You look like you've had your face done with that new app. Isaac,
Dan, if you ever listen to Leicester fans,
whatever. Everton fan here. I watched this channel after the game between us two the other week. Always had a soft spot since the infamous Premier League winning season. And like I said earlier, congratulations on Everton staying up. Welcome along, Mike, as well. Nice to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Brad, it is going to be an amazing last day of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you're hoping so, aren't we? Really, in terms of neutral excitement. I mean, you know, we've spent the last 2 years being involved in the last day. The last day drama, so it's kind of exciting to be able to sit there. I can get my beer out, I can put my feet up, I can sit back and go, there's 30, 40, 50, 60,000 nervous fans. I don't know how that feels. Now it's your turn to suffer. But you're kind of hoping, aren't you? I mean, that they've made a bit of a mess of putting it all available on TV. I believe the Tottenham game isn't there, and I don't know what else is not available on telly. But apart from that side, it's been a while coming, hasn't it? We haven't had this much drama towards a lot still on the line come the last day. I mean, yes, like I said, last season we were fighting it for 4th over 5th, and that was really it. The title was done, the relegation spots were done. You know, so it's been a while since we've had 3 or 4 things still up for grabs. I mean, we could end the season, with Manchester United getting into the Europa League conference.
I hope so. I hope so much,
Yeah.
Well, Arsenal, I'll take either of them because they were both dissing it earlier on. But, I mean, Neil, on that game itself, because you watched it all. Sorry, Brad. I keep saying that. I don't mean it horribly. Expected goals, 1.64 for Chelsea. 0.09 for Leicester. If ever there's anything that sums the game up, that does.
It might have been similar in the FA Cup, but I don't care. Legit, I don't think we created too much opportunities, but who cares? It's football. How many times have we seen a team dominate the other team and the other team just come on and scores a goal out of absolutely nowhere? That's football. XG, I think we get too tied up in statistics and, this amount of goals and assists and blah, blah, blah. And this is the kind of thing where I don't care about statistics as much, because if you read the game of statistics, it's really boring, because it doesn't actually explain there's a lot of context that is missed. For example, statistically, Keenan Dewsbury-Hall doesn't look that good going forward, but he's great all over the pitch and he makes some really good tackles, drives with the ball, mentality is really good. However, goals and assists, I think he's only got what in all competitions, 2 or 3 goals?
2 goals and 1 assist, I think.
A couple of exactly. So from that, he's a failure. And this is what I don't like about statistics. They can tell you some things about Maddison and Barnes having Barnes' statistics are really good, but I don't think his performance has actually been up to the level where his statistics have proven. So yeah, in terms of XG, it doesn't really mean anything. We created again 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 goal. Who cares? We've got a point away at Chelsea. I'll take that.
And we would have taken that at the start. Good evening, Brookline. How are you? Coming up, Neil, we've got Southampton on the weekend, hosting them. youngsters out, or do you go for it and try and get 8th? And I mean, I know how you're feeling, obviously, towards Brendan. But if we finished 8th, let's say he plays the full team, and it looks like he's going to, because I think it's a bit of a waste of time only giving them one game. But if he plays a strong team, we finish 8th and we got to a European semi-final. With everything that's gone on this season, it's not been a bad season when you look at it like that, has it?
I think so. But considering what we've conceded in the certain points, yeah, for sure. I think it's been again, it's kind of masking over, and also it's realised how bad some of the other teams have been this season. That we're in 8th position, we're on 0 goal difference at the moment. Again, it's that gap between us and 14th is not really that much. But again, an 8th position would be great in terms of the money. It would be considering the season we've had, it would be a great result. We've had certain players come through in that. I'd expect Brennan to make some changes from what he made today. I think Ricardo was on the bench, give him a bit of a run out, give James Justin. I don't know why he wasn't on the bench, but hopefully he's just saving him for the Southampton game. Make a few little changes but try and play the same team and try and play players that are going to be here next season. So, for example, with Tielemans, we probably know he's on his way out. Let's be honest. Him playing today and not playing in that game, I know he was injured, but it gave us a glimpse into Leicester City without Tielemans. They are going to get a central midfielder in, and hopefully, again, we're going to see this team improve. But yeah, coming into Southampton's game, I think it's just these few little changes that we're going to make. Certain positions, Luke Thomas maybe takes a bit of a drop out, then bring James Justin in on that left. Maybe change the formation slightly. I don't think there's any point in playing 3 at the back against Southampton. 4-2-3-1, how Brendan likes it. Bring Adamo Luckman in, who had a bit of a break today. And then, see what happens. I'm not expecting him to play the most expansive brand of football, but just be competitive, and I'm happy.
Dan, I mean, we're talking there about Leicester making changes in the summer. For Burnley's point of view, whether it is in this division or whether it's in the lower division, major surgery is needed, isn't it, at Burnley?
Yeah. I've said to you off camera and on camera, to be honest with you, I've said that if we go down, we'll lose key players, and rightly so. But it's the ramifications that come with everything. It's the fact that we've got a huge debt that we'd have to pay off straight up front, and we'd need to pay that off if we get relegated. We don't really have to pay that back if we're still in the Premier League up until 2025. So
I'm going to ask you this, though, Dan.
It does. To answer your question, Chris, it does. It needs massively changing. Yeah. We need a younger squad and to be more forward thinking instead of just a head tennis team.
We had a chat the other day. We did a relegation special, and I meant to ask you this on that, and I don't know. I don't think I did, so I'm going to ask it now. Alan Pace is coming. What I don't get is you've said to me like, Alan Pace is going to try and go out and get us investment, blah, blah, blah. Has this guy not come in with money? Is he not come in and he can do this on his own? Or does he, does he come in and, I've only got a little bit of money. I need to go out and get some more if we're going to do anything.
He's come in with a bit of money, but I think he came in at a bad time. He came in January. It was the middle of COVID. And you're buying a club at that point, and you're sort of having to deal with everything that's going on around the club. People losing their jobs. It's, the infrastructure of the club and stuff. You've got a big major overhaul happening behind the scenes. And then you've got all these people that are just like, right, well, this is getting changed, that's getting changed. And it's stuff that you don't just see on the pitch. That's why I try to be a bit of a realist with certain fans, because they say, well, it's them players out on the pitch. Yeah, but it's also those people's livelihoods off the pitch that are changing as well. We get relegated, that's 2 or 3 cleaners that are sacked. That's kitchen staff that are being gone because we're going to have to dwindle down the numbers. This guy does have money, but don't get me wrong, he's trying to, as we've seen with a lot of the American owners, they try to come to these clubs and build them as a brand. Yeah. And I think that's what he's wanting to do. He's wanting to get investment from these foreign countries because it's money in at the turf, but it's the namesake getting out to these different areas, and hopefully, in a sense, what he's hoping for is a nice collective return of a new set of fan base, or some sort of links with other countries. I know he's already said he's looking at buying a second football club, a bit like how Leicester have got stuff. When you loaned George Hurst out, and then or bought him for the other club, and then re-sign him for Leicester. I mean, we're looking to sort of do something like that. So it can work in your favour.
He'd got other, he was looking for other investment, But Brad, I know you've got to go, so I'm going to just come to you with this question. Who's going to win the league and who's going to go down? We won't bother with Europe because we could be here all night.
And I know Man City faltered against West Ham, and it's something I said they wouldn't do, but Liverpool nearly faltered against Southampton. So I still think it's Man City's. I know they don't normally handle last day pressure that well, but I just see them getting over the line one way or another. And in terms of going down, it is in Burnley's hands, and you can't look past it being Leeds that go down. I kind of hope they do, because I don't like their new manager. I didn't like Bielsa as much because of his arrogance, footballing style of playing one way, his way, or the highway that did cost him his job. But this guy's just naff, and he's just proven that you don't go to soccer coaches to keep you in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think Leeds are going down.
Brilliant. All right, mate. Well, thanks very much. I know you got to go for your reasons. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Appreciate
thanks for watching half the match.
Take it easy, Brad.
Yeah, I did a service. I did have something on my screen when I was recording, so I did keep an eye on the second half. I didn't completely abandon my team.
To Neil, right? Did you watch the second half? I can talk to you about the second half.
Right.
To be fair, Brad, you didn't miss much from a Leicester perspective.
I've heard, mate, and what I was able to gather from it, I didn't miss much from Leicester's perspective. I was hoping, it was all psychological, what I was hoping is Leicester would go and score about 4 or 5 goals, so I'd have to frantically watch the highlights to give an opinion on it, but it didn't happen. But cheers for having us on, Chris, and
Take
good
care.
chat to you
Thanks
all.
so much, mate.
See you later, mate.
Take
it easy, pal.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil, like I said before, we touched on, 8th or 9th and a European semi-final isn't bad. What positives, looking at the whole season, I mean, are you still saying now you want Brendan out? Or
I'm saying he just
longer?
So for me, it's the thing is, he just needs to fix what he needs. So for example, we need to make sure that we're getting the players we need in. We need to get the tactics right, and we need to get the recruitment right. These 3 things he's had a big part of, and one of the things that I've complained about, especially when we lose, is he's gone, we haven't got the profile of player to defend corners. And I'm going, Brennan, you've been here for 4 years. It's not like a Thomas Tuchel situation, or you've had enough time to bring in the profile that you've wanted. So I don't think that's an excuse. Now that we've got, again, I don't know if this new guy from Southampton's going to play out his probation period, but we can't be doing a Vestergaard, a Bertrand. We can't do this again. We can't get in these players because we can't afford them. A, B, we have to shrink the squad, and C, we need to make sure that we're getting we have a good scouting system. Brendan, don't override the scouting system. We have a good one. Do not override it, because we've seen what's happened recently. If we talk about a rebuild, these are 2 players. I know they're just coming last year that could go out, in my opinion, because they aren't doing what they need, and if they're taking up wages of some people or even spaces for the under 23s, I'd rather have them in.
I know, I agree 100%, mate. I mean, Ryan Bertrand for me was, I thought, going to be the signing of the season. Because I thought we've lost Christian Fuchs, and he's coming in that same position. He's got the experience, and he's been on the sick table more than most of the season. Now, my question is, though, is that his fault, or is that the training for the method of training? Because there's so many players have picked up injuries that haven't been got on the pitch. Vestergaard, in fairness to Vestergaard, I'm not his biggest fan, but he's coming to an unsettled back 4-3-5, whatever it is, and it was a case of we played what formation we had players fit to fill, and. But I was listening to Talk Sport the other day, and I know don't shoot me down. I am illegally obliged to have to because I do go on occasionally.
Bad move, Chris. Bad move.
and I know that they're designed to be controversial. This is never complain about the fact that they hate your team. They hate your team because they want you to ring up and tell them why they shouldn't do. But they were actually saying that we'd got two very good defenders from Southampton.
They maybe were. I don't think they've showed it so far. I don't think that what they've done and what they've proven, and what was more important is that Yannick Vestergaard was a panic buy, but also that these two players. So at one point, that Brendan Rodgers overrid the scouting system, and we've known that the scouting system at Leicester City is great. So we need to make sure we take that off him almost and go, look, we're going to get who we want in.
I think they've already addressed that, haven't they? And they have taken that back, yes.
Only time will tell this summer. But yeah, I agree. Hopefully they've sorted that out. And B, it shows you as well that this old narrative that Premier League proven isn't always right. It has worked in the past. I mean, the past two players, the two players actually that really worked, three players have all come from the Championship. James Maddison came from the Championship. Hull was relegated with Maguire, and Johnny Evans was relegated at the time. Jose Perez was another Premier League player. Didn't work out. So again,
I thought we were going to do a whole show there and not mention the P word.
Well, it's just being honest, because people like to mention Premier League proven, get a Premier League player. And I do think there are Premier League players that we can go and get. However, the way that we thrive is not in the Premier League. The way that we thrive is, and there's some Chris, you've watched the Championship. There's some real quality in the Championship. People playing at great levels.
If
we
Forest
could do some
don't come
business
up,
there.
there's a couple there that I wouldn't mind,
Exactly. Even at Forest.
But
at Forest, there's been some great players. Like Johnson would be fantastic for us.
Exactly. And just taking up a point there, though, what you were saying about it's not always good to take Premier League players, and Dan might wince at me here, but I'm a big fan of Tarkowski, and I'm thinking that Evans. I'm not saying he's past it, not at all, but when he's injured, he's of an age now where he's going to take a lot longer to get fit. That's the same with Jamie Vardy, and when he is unfit, we've seen this season, we haven't got that experienced centre back to sit in that back line and boss, tell them what and keep them in line. No pun intended. For me, Tarkowski is that person. I'm trying to think who it was last season that was available on a free, and we didn't. There was somebody that was experienced, I think, from Chelsea, but I mean, what would your thoughts be on? I mean, I know Dan, when we've talked about it in the past, thinks he would be a good buy for Leicester, and I do as well, and I think he would give us that stability and experience.
From what I've read as well, I think Newcastle are interested, and also Aston Villa. So there's quite a few clubs after him because of the price and what he gives us. I think he's a player that, for example, if we're looking to build a team around certain players, he could be a player. I think his injury record's quite good, quite good. He's not injured a lot as well. So I think we discussed it last time. He's a good player, and I think he would improve Leicester going forward. I think he plays. Does he play on the left or does he play on the right, Dan?
The right side of defence.
Okay, you see, the issue is he would take the position. So I think he'd play it probably through the middle if he plays in the back three. And with Fofana as a right-footed. So today, for example, he couldn't slot in on the left-hand side. I think with back three, I don't think it would work. But yeah, I think he could do business for us. Again, I'm not saying all Premier League players doesn't work. That was one that we've been, I think, for quite a while. I think he was, from what we've heard as well, he was interested in the move to Leicester. We just didn't want to pay the 40 million that Burnley was saying, but he was interested in the move and interested in the project as well. So yeah, I think he could be, but it's not just plain sailing for Leicester. Again, there's a couple of big teams, and with Newcastle coming and the money that they've got to spend, it's going to be quite hard for Leicester City to try and compete and try and steer him towards us, considering the money that he could be on. He's 29. It's not past his prime, but he's probably thinking, right, how many years have I got left? How many years of this can I get out? How much more money can I get out of this? So for me, if I was him from a neutral perspective, Newcastle would be the place that I would want to go. But I'd still love him at Leicester.
But do you think...
I think he'll get him. I personally think he'll get him. Yeah. I think it's not... It's so easy to just go to Newcastle and expect it to work. But with you guys, you've got that history of making it work. And... You know, you've laid a foundation where Newcastle have rode their luck by spending a bit of money and bringing some signings in. You know, Bruno Guimaraes has been decent. So was Maxwell Cornet when he first started. Next season, Bruno Guimaraes could drop off the face of the earth. So, you know, and another thing to talk, Oscar. Obviously, he's a free agent in the summer, so you know it doesn't affect any costs really in terms of transfer fee. It could have been the easiest thing for him to basically not play in claret and blue again, you know, after his recent injury. And he actually turned around to Matt Jackson and said, I need to be involved in this game. I want to be involved in this game. I will be there for the cause. So he's rushed back, risking further injury to himself to help try us keep us up. If anything, that just goes to show the the character of the guy, and it commands the utmost respect.
I just think, to be honest with you, if you're Tarkowski, so let's say we're saving 20 million, let's say, for example, on transfer fee, so that, you know, we can use that towards his wages. He's got to look to move to Newcastle and go, yeah, they can outbid and they can pay me thousands, but how long am I going to have be able to play it? But you know, Newcastle. Once they make that next step up, they're going to be wanting to go out and buy Barcelona players. They're going to be wanting to go out and play with, you know. And I'm like, what's going to happen to me then? It's like Chris Wood. You know, he was bought this season. He's going to get a nice wage for a little bit, isn't he, Dan? But
he'll be off in the summer.
Yeah,
he'll be off in the summer.
Well. Oh, he'll be in the B team or whatever it is, you know. So I do feel on that. Neil, I'm going to let you go because I've got another guest to come in. Thank you so much for coming in. Pick a man of the match if you can tonight.
Oh,
I know. I'm sorry.
Threw that one on me, didn't you? That's not a hospital pass.
Let me help you there. In fairness, it was a bit. That was more for my amusement, probably. But Alan, who actually does my man of the match and rates the team and what have you, he's at the match. He goes to all the matches, so he sees the whole picture. You know, he sees what we see on the telly. Now he's given the man of the match to Fofana. Which I kind of get that. He's given the team a rating of 7 and the manager a rating of 8.
I think the manager gets a 7 from me. So I'm there about there. I think my man of the match, I'm going to go for somebody slightly different. I'm going to go for Kasper Schmeichel for the saves that he made, keeping us in the game. Fofana was decent. Maddison could have done. I think KDH was good as well. But I'm going to go for Schmeichel for my man of the match.
You know what? Before the match, me and Josh were talking on the watch along, saying like, "Oh, should Schmeichel go this summer? He's been linked with Newcastle. He's in contract talks." And I said, "Yeah, and his distribution's not always that good, and he's kept us in games. But you got to look at and he had a fucking perfect game. I mean, I'm going to have to diss him every game, you know." But maybe you should try that, Mike, with Man United.
If it helps, I did the same thing with a Chelsea fan. I went, Marcus Alonso's terrible. And then he scores. And I'm like, oh, never mind.
The classic was before we had YouTube channels. I was watching it on the telly and just typing it onto Facebook, I think it was. And I put a comment that Jeff Schlupp had been brought on. And he'd been absolutely rubbish for about 10 minutes. And I basically said, what the fuck is this guy doing playing in a blue shirt? He's rubbish. And I had not taken my finger off the send button and he scored. I was totally like, okay, There we go. Neil, thanks very much, mate, for coming on. Make sure
No
it's
problem.
Beyond the 90 LCFC channel. Fabulous channel. Get over there, give him some support. A big friend of this channel, and on Twitter as well. Even though
And give a like
you know,
and subscribe to Turf Morehouse and all these other people as well, and Chris as well. So thanks for having me on, Chris. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Neil.
See you guys
all the
later.
best. Take care. Stay safe, buddy. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Mike, you are neutral. You haven't got a horse in this race.
Well, I have. We're fighting to not be in the Conference League.
Well, not in tonight's race, I should say. Then maybe. What did you make of the results tonight?
Chelsea Leicester, obviously dead rubber game. Nothing really to fight for in terms of do or die. Everton staying up, so pushes them out of it, and that result for Burnley. Again, you could say it's away from home, so the fact that they've got a point there puts it in their hands. I'm sure Dan would fancy going into the final day with Leeds being away and then being at home. Just hopefully Brentford.
Oh,
that's VAR summed up in it. Checking club badge.
Yeah. or history.
Let it go, Dan. Let it go.
To be fair, Chris, they got absolutely robbed in that Spurs game. I feel for you, Dan. That game, I actually watched that game. I don't normally watch many Burnley games with the stereotype of Burnley games, but yeah, I felt sorry for you with that. Penalty, never a penalty in my opinion. But I haven't seen the Matthew Lowton red card. I'm not too sure if it is, but I've seen both of the goals. The Buendia goal is poor. I think there's got to be tighter. As soon as I asked to come on, I went on the YouTube and watched the highlights. So I'm going to give a compilation review. But no, your goal looked like it was, worked well. Their goal maybe could have done a little bit better. But it's now on to a massive game on Sunday. Obviously, you've got the home advantage against Newcastle. Leeds travel to Brentford. I think I'm not sure what the exact figures are, but I think you've got a massive advantage in goal difference compared to them, I believe.
20, yeah.
Yeah, so basically Leeds have to better your result. A draw for both, you stay up, or, anything other than Leeds bettering your result and you stay in the division. Look,
I mean, Dan, I can't work it out, to be honest with you, because I said at one point now Everton aren't going to get drawn down into. Oh no, Everton are going to go down, and they've stayed up. I've said Leeds aren't going to be drawn into this fight, and they have been. And I said at one point Burnley look like they're going to stay up because they're fighting for it. And I mean, what the fuck is going on down there?
Honestly,
are you thinking that the harder you make it yourself, the more tickets you sell for the weekend?
Did you see the pitch invasion though, guys? Oh my god!
Yeah. I just want to say something as well. Everton fans, you should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. Storming the pitch. I understand you've come from 2-0 down to win 3-2. I understand. But I'm not being funny. If you're going to go over to Patrick Vieira, start slapping his bald head and antagonising him, and not expecting him to turn around and push you away, and react, you're a fucking disgrace to your fan base. I'm sorry, but you really, really are.
Well, the same happened in the same game.
The same that happened in the Championship as well with Billy Sharp. I think it's disgusting. I think it's nice that security go, you know what? Okay, you've had a big moment happen in a game. You can celebrate with the players on the pitch. There is no need to be an absolute arsehole with these other people that are just ready to walk off the pitch.
We saw it in the linesman in the Huddersfield game. He ran off, didn't he? Because he knew there was going to be a pitch invasion.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two things here with that. Is that, I don't have a problem with people invading the pitch after the final whistle. I get that. Players, once that whistle goes, let's be honest with you, they're probably fitter than 99.9% of the fans there. They can run and get off the pitch. The steward should be there to form because stewards can't stop people coming on. If I was a steward, and I've been a steward, I know at Poole Town it's not the same, but I'm not going to stop someone in case they've got a knife. We were told even there, like, you speak to them, but if they get aggressive, you don't stop them. But to come on before the game was finished, all you're doing is playing into
Palace.
who are they playing?
Palace.
Palace's hands, because you're letting the players have a rest and what have you. On the end, that's fine. And I'll tell you something, they fans will be the first to moan if they put netting up again and wire fencings.
The thing is, Everton fans in recent weeks have been going round the streets of Liverpool, ripping Liverpool flags out of people's windows, breaking their windows because they've got a Liverpool flag hanging out of it. When there's also another team in Liverpool fighting for in a title race, you've got Everton letting fucking fireworks off outside hotels. If anything, they're embarrassing themselves. They're embarrassing themselves. And the only reason they've stayed up is for some arsehole tying himself with flaming, cable ties, which should only be used in the bedroom, right? Or for
make a note, Mike. That might come in handy.
Yeah, come on, Chris. Come on, Mike. You know you're funny. Come on, you should know about this.
Oh God,
you can't say that now, mate. Without you got to be careful what you say. But couldn't you? I mean, first of all, 2 points on that. I didn't know until recently. I mean, Liverpool were booing the national anthem in the. I mean, I felt sorry for Liverpool when they played Man United and they had the minute silence. Man United fans were. Was it not Man United? Was it Man United they played? Man City. Sorry, I know it was some northern scum, but Man City were booing, and I felt sorry for them. But then they go and they boo the national anthem, and apparently it's okay to do that.
I said this, didn't I? They said they're Scouts, not English, but yes, they want to be in our English FA Cup and our English League Cup. So.
And they want to claim English doll because 90% of them don't work. I'm joking there. I'm joking, of course. But, and you can only make so much. You can only make so much money from selling tyres that you pinched off people's cars at traffic lights. But let's not go too far down the stereotypical. That's just a great goal by Maddison. I'm just watching it again. But
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, fantastic.
But, I'm sorry if you boo the national anthem, then. Fuck off. And, I just,
holding back.
Maybe it's just the fact that we're just saying that Liverpool, whether you're Everton, Tranmere, Liverpool, you just get, you just let, we see your true colours. James has come in. James, how are you doing? You just missed Dan having a go at Everton fans for invading the pitch, etc. I don't know if you've got, if you want to come on, if you've got a cam, then you want to come on and defend the Everton fans.
However, James, I didn't say it was all fans. I didn't say it was all fans.
No, he didn't. In fairness, he just said
it's the one or two knobheads that are running on and antagonising opposition managers, and as Mark alluded to as well, we saw it in the Championship game.
Even tonight, just tonight with Swindon against.
It's stuff like that, though, isn't it? It's stuff like that completely ruins such a really good moment for the rest of the fan base, because you're out there celebrating. You've just got safety in the Premier League, and that arsehole doing that has ruined it for that fan base in a nutshell. And I know what you mean tonight. I think the Port Vale fans attacked a former player, didn't they?
Basically, Harry McCurdy is a bit of a pantomime villain. Basically, every time he leaves a club and plays against them with his former club, he goes over to them before a game. He'll do a lap of honour and just go like that in front of them, like before every game against a former club. He missed his penalty in the shootout tonight, and then when the Port Vale fans went onto the pitch, one of them swung a punch at him to his cheek, and then he just turned around McCurdy and clapped at him like that and walked off with the words around him.
I've got to say, if the fans are asking for safe standing areas, and they're asking to sort of go back to foot, and I can understand why they want to go back to that thing. Those of us of a certain age do remember the pre-seat in time. I also remember, all the wire, fencing and what have you between us and the other fans and us on the pitch. Now we don't want another Hillsborough, and we know that sort of did make that whole situation worse. But then, what can you say? We shouldn't have fences up, But when that happens, if after that, I'd say, yeah, let's put fences up. Or maybe we should just have fences up.
Chris.
When,
I'm just reading.
Everton, 1 second, sorry. Or we should have fences up just when Liverpool or Everton come to town. I don't know.
I'll be happy with that.
Yes. Sorry, Dan.
There's nothing better than reading Burnley Twitter after a defeat, which is quite often this season. I've been reading that. But somebody said, I've studied the footage of the penalty given against us at Tottenham and the one not given for us against Spurs. And there is only one difference that stands out by a mile. The badge on the fucking shirt.
Yeah. I mean, it's never going to be resolved. I mean, we used to we used to blame the refs, and then we used to blame the Doug's in. Good evening, Doug. What's this about you lot booing the national anthem? I had respect for Liverpool fans, but if that's true, I don't. James, I sit in the top balcony, the top stand. I got balcony. Oh my God, I didn't know that Everton Football Club was that posh that they have balconies. Do you have sun lounges out on there as well, James? That'd be very nice.
Oh, not in Liverpool. Don't get sun in Liverpool.
I sit in the top balcony on the top stand. I got a good view of the pitch invasion, got a photo on my phone. Hiya, Luca, how the devil are you? Yeah, Dan, Doug, let us know. Let us know if that is something that you do, because I don't. I know it's not all the fans. I know it's not all the fans at all. Every club has them, including the 3 clubs that are sat here. We're going to sort of start to round it up now because we've been on an hour. It was at the FA Cup final, apparently, wasn't it, guys? Where Liverpool fans were booing the national anthem, I believe.
As they say, it's not English, so they booed it.
At the end of the day, every club has got its fair share of idiots. Let's be honest with you.
Yeah, it has.
I can remember. I think it was during the Great Escape season, and everybody around me was saying, "Oh yes, if we score, I'm going to invade the pitch. If we score, we're going to go on the pitch." And they said, like, please don't. And they even said at the end, because I think it was the championship. We were in the championship, and they wanted to present, the team wanted to do a bit, walk around the pitch and say, thank you, we've got promoted. There we go.
In a minute,
yeah. It said, like, you're going to go for a walk around the pitch. And because everybody invaded the pitch, they never did it. Because we didn't see the players coming around and thanking us. But like I say, every club has it.
Yeah. When we stayed up in League Two, they said if anyone does, I can't remember they didn't say invade, but it was like encroach or something onto the pitch, then it won't be a
encroaching onto the pitch.
Roach are things that you get if you're dirty in foreign countries.
We stayed up, pitch invaded, everyone got off the pitch and
prison.
I'm downstairs. There's no prison cell here. Yeah.
Downstairs. That stands for D-wing.
Did not have enough fans to have a pitch invasion, or was it a penalty area invasion you did?
No, to be fair, it was 8,500 on that day.
I jest, mate. I jest. You know that.
Yes,
that.
100%.
But, I know, and yeah, I do get that fans want to go on, and I think, like with us, they could have just waited until the players had done the walk round, then gone on. I just don't get why they did it before the end of the game. I really, really didn't. There is a precedent for that, because I'm going back to the 70s, but Leicester got promoted from the Champions League. I think in that we were actually playing Burnley that day. We got a 0-0. I think Fulham were playing Derby possibly, and I think Fulham were winning. So Derby invaded the pitch, or one way round, something like that. Anyway, the ref blew the whistle with 3 minutes to go because of the pitch invasion. Nobody knew what was going to happen for a couple of weeks while they looked into it. Anyway, they eventually said, no, the result stands, and Leicester got promoted. So it doesn't always work for you if you invade the pitch, But Mike, let's ask you this then, quickly before we go. See, as a Man United fan, what are you going to get this season? Are you going to get? You're not going to get Champions League. Are you going to get Europa, or are you going to end up in the All Conference?
I think if we get in the Europa, it'll be due to West Ham dropping points against Brighton. To be honest, I don't think it'll be. But then again, Ten Hag's going to be in attendance at Selhurst Park on Sunday, so he's already flown over to London.
I saw that today. Yeah,
there. No, I'm going to say Europa League. Yeah, I reckon we'll end the season on a bit of a high, and I think Palace may be a bit down with what happened today, with obviously losing the game in that style, and not just that, but obviously what happened with Vieira, like Dan touched on it, with the fans and stuff. They might be a bit down in the dumps.
I've sent you the video, Chris, as well. I've sent you the video through Twitter of the Vieira situation.
Oh right, okay, mate. So
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm ending now, Nippon. Sorry, I'm just then. Dan, I mean, it's not a good night for you. Although it will be in a minute, as we'll be saying good night. But it is in your own hands, isn't it? And that's the thing. I would sooner be a Burnley fan now than a Leeds fan. But from a neutral's point of view, do you know what? It's going to be a great, fantastic weekend. I think there's Chelsea, Watford, and I think Leicester, Southampton are the only two games that are going to affect, qualification for something or winning something or relegation. But as I say, I'd sooner be in your shoes, Dan, than Leeds at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the longer I've sat here and thought about it, as I said to you before kickoff, I'd have took a pint. You take away all the shit, the drama, the bullshit that's happened today, I've still got to be happy that it's a pint because it is now firmly in our hands. It was a game that I said is a must not lose, and we haven't lost. So take all the crap away. I've got what I wanted before a ball was kicked.
Yeah.
So I've got to be happy with it. Brush off all the shit that's happened, move forward, and let's just see. There's a stat here that was Burnley's 10th penalty in the last 5 Premier League seasons, which was as many as Bruno Fernandes took in 2020 to 21 season.
Dan. Piss off, Dan.
I mean, just looking at that game, Dan.
Sorry, Matt. I just thought I'd throw that one in there.
I wanted to start being happy again, and now you're bloody pinning Bruno down.
Dan, I mean, Villa 71%, Burnley 29%.
Yeah.
22 shots for Villa, 10 for Burnley, and I'm not going to criticise because we only had 2. 516 accurate passes for Villa, 155. In a way, had you got anything from that game, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, you could argue that you wouldn't have deserved it.
Villa didn't really create much. They had all the possession in the midfield. They had these efforts and stuff like that, but they were nothing concrete in terms of shots on goal. They were all we had a couple of scares, etc., but nothing major. It's sort of what we saw from Leicester a couple of weeks ago, where they were getting forward, they were getting efforts, but they weren't big chances, as we kept calling them.
Yeah.
So it was one of those games where you look back at it and you think the stats make it look like Villa should have won this game 3 or 4-0.
Yeah.
But when you look at it and everything that went against you and everything else today, but we all know Burnley's one of those teams that don't have much possession anyway and still managed to grind the game out. So
yeah, I mean, in fairness, had Leicester say 1-2-1, we wouldn't have deserved that at all. Chelsea were all over us, to be honest, and they stopped us playing. Like I say, their goalkeeper could have been up for a picnic. James is off. Cheers, James. Thanks very much for popping on.
Congratulations on staying up again, James.
Yeah, well done, James. My God, that hurt. didn't it for you?
Oh,
I'm just trying to look. The guy that attacked Billy Sharp has been sent to jail for 24 weeks.
Embarrassing.
You know. Guys, thank you. It's going to be an exciting day on Sunday. I know Dan is doing a live watch along on at Turf Moorhouse TV. If you are a Burnley or a Leeds fan, he'll be concentrating on those two games.
I've got a Leeds fan coming on, Chris, as well, so it's going to be very interesting.
You have indeed, yeah. Carl, you've got Carl coming on.
Yeah.
You couldn't give a toss about Burnley and Leeds. Then stay on my channel because we're covering all the games that have got something involved in them.
Oh, you were stealing bastard.
Yeah, if you want to see if Man United can end up in the conference, join us. I've got a guy. I got a guy that is going to be, Doug, who's I'm going to give him the last word in a minute. Doug's going to be on watching the Liverpool and Man City matches. We've got an Arsenal fan looking at the other games, and we've got Pidge, a Watford fan, that's going to be watching the relegation zone. Last question, very quickly, Mike. Man United fan, who do you want to win the Premier League?
City.
By God. Okay. That was short and sweet.
Simple as that.
No, that's fair. No, that's fair enough. I asked the question. And the last word is going to go to Doug here. What did the drummer call his twin sisters? Anna 1, Anna 2.
I like that. I'm sorry, guys. I like that.
There is literally, you've left me nowhere to go, Doug. You haven't at all.
Tomorrow night's going to be interesting, Chris, for Premier League prediction show with him being on.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, get your joke books out, guys. Guys, thank you very much for coming on.
Up on the coffee as well.
Bad luck, Dan. I'm sorry that you didn't quite manage to do it. But just think you're making all the neutrals very happy for the weekend. And Mike, just check out where your team might be playing next season. You could be sort of in Moldova or Kazakhstan or Northern Ireland or Scotland. All those low, teams that don't sort of, do well in Europe and end up in the bottom stream. Like Leicester before you say it, yes.
Or Arsenal.
I don't know who I want more, Arsenal or Man United.
No, Arsenal are in the Europa League.
Yeah, but I could be either of them. I wouldn't mind either of them in the Conference League. I don't know who.
They can't get in the Conference League, so it'll only be
right. I want Man United in the Conference League then. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for coming on. Take care, and
Cheers, Chris.
We'll speak soon.
Nice to see you again, Mark, online as well.
Cheers, Dan.
And I'm going to let Mike go because he's on a promise. Good night.
Terrible.
Cheers, Dan. Take care, mate.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Don't forget, if you like your darts, if you do like your darts, and as I always say, I don't see the point in them, but if you like your darts, get over to Mike's channel. And he's called Mike Green. He does a lot of dart shows. And to be honest with you, I don't know, I don't get darts, but it's a great channel if you want to watch a bit of darts. And like I say, if you are a Leeds or a Burnley fan, do get onto Turf Moorhouse TV this Saturday. Well, I'll tell you what, have that on your phone and have us on your laptop. That'd be fair, wouldn't it? But if you're a Leeds or Burnley fan, get over onto Turf Moorhouse TV. I think he's starting at 5 to 4 on Saturday. Oh, no, he's not. On Sunday, he'll be doing that. And if you just enjoy football, wherever it is, top, middle, or bottom, it's Soccer Sunday, final day watch along. Doug will be looking after the final, the title battle. Anthony will be looking after the fight for Europe, and Pidge will be looking at the scrap for survival. Guys, I was looking at the views we got for the watch along earlier. 3,500. It doesn't compute. It does not compute. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this as well. We've got one more game to go. Join me at 7 o'clock tomorrow. I am being joined by a Southampton fan. Yes, it is the Southampton fan with the weird and wacky shirt. Well, he calls it a Southampton shirt, but it is weird and wacky, believe you me. And that's at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And then join us at 3 o'clock when we'll be running down all the games and doing all the predictions for the final day's watch along. Thanks, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Congratulations to Everton. Bad luck to Burnley. And, well done, Leicester. Let's hope we can stay top 10. Go.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
That's all, folks.